whatever milestones that Black people make against hate, it ends up benefiting all the other people of color. I can't see what his end game is. The Republican Party is the party of racism, is the party of white supremacy, is the party of hate. This is wrong, and it needs to stop.
Everybody wants to go back and drag that piece of history up, but they don't want to go back and deal with what their ancestors did to the indigenous people and to Black people in this country. You got to go. And you got billionaires talking about going to space, and Jeff Bezos, go, never come back. I hope you get lost. This man has lost his mind.
Boom! Come on, girlfriend. What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, and 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And I also host the only online show or online conversation in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Care and Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And being part of that team last year, we're able to reach out to over 100,000 dads and fathers around the world. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. If Dr. Vibe is sounding a little different, Dr. Vibe has a little bit of a head cold going on. And so if I sound a little different, yeah, I'm a little congested, but I'm still pushing it through because it's Saturday night. And we were talking about music, obviously, because all three of us, Aisha, Jill, and myself, we love our music. We were recalling old songs before we came on live. And we're talking about Lionel Richie, Love Will Find a Way, and that video looking a little stalkerish. And we're actually thinking on State of Things with Aisha and Jill to maybe having favorite videos show. So keep that in the back of your mind. We'll announce it at least a week or two ahead of time. And if reach out and we'll give you contact information to give some of your favorite videos of all time. And we'll play them live and you can watch them with us. So I think that'd be an amazing idea. And always, it is Saturday night. It is Saturday night. Jill's here. Aisha's here. Back again since Tuesday. Tuesday was crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at Jill's already to rock. Tuesday. Wow, Tuesday. Let me just tell you, I believe that is the most watched video we've ever done.
Oh my gosh!
And this is before I've done the edit and the replay of the video and the audio.
That was just a live version, right?
Yeah, it's just a live version, just a replay of the live version. Like lots of people watching it.
Yeah, I think I saw that there were some comments going, and
there was.
I tend to not read a lot of them.
Why not?
Gee, I don't know. I don't know. I think
that's like me. Like with articles that I publish, readers actually think I go back and read the comments. I don't.
Yeah, I do like some comments that are, instrumental or sometimes beneficial, and I try to decipher quickly from the vibe from the minute. Like I'm like, oh no, not going to go into. I mean, sometimes people have really good constructive criticism, but then there are just some that they're coming for me. And
for me, it's always the racist white men.
Yeah, wow. And for me, I've been getting a lot of Russians lately in my boxes and everything. Yeah, it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know. I do know what it is, actually. I think I'm very outspoken about, what's happening in that part of the world, and that, they're like 7 leagues below the sea in their thinking. 700 leagues, maybe. It's just like, pedestrian. So anyway, I thought the bots were unemployed for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But it looks like somebody's throwing them some grain, and they're back on the internet.
Yeah, when you see someone with only 2 followers and 0 people that they're following, or a bunch of numbers after their name, know that that is a bot.
Yeah, because they say some of the tide is changing, that, they've been given so much propaganda in the country that people think that there's a justifiable reason for going into this war.
Right.
And, I'm just like, that's just lazy thinking. And there's no excuse for, looking out your window and imagining people just peeling people off, picking them off on their bicycles and whatever. And to be honest with you, I still stand by everything I've said about that country.
Mm-hmm.
How's the week been other than that? Other than that.
Reflective, right? Don't you think?
Yeah. See, Jill and I we probably don't have a whole lot to say right now because we talked yesterday.
Oh,
we did.
You know
like
what?
Hour.
Those conversations need to get out live. No.
Yesterday's conversation was actually really funny.
Yeah. There were some funny things. I mean, I think it's the collective consciousness that we really were rummaging through our heads because after having time to think about the whole Will Smith scenario, what goes through my mind constantly, because, I keep telling people to read this book called The Greatness of Saturn. It's by Dr. Robert Svoboda. It's sort of mythological, but it also really plays into the aspect of how Saturn in our lifetimes and certain things that going on, Saturn is always correlated with like karmic responsibility, karmic duty, and all that stuff. And I was thinking collectively, the way everybody responded, I think it was a real reflection for all of us to look at how we have all gotten here and our institutions and what are we fostering and what are we perpetrating and what are we creating. A lot of artifice. There's a lot of artificiality going on. We don't know if someone's genuine anymore, disingenuine. I don't know if they have alopecia, if they don't. We've created a really unsafe environment in a sense of, is it fictitious or is it real? Because everything has been so crafted online.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody makes up their lives. They're making it up. Some of it's just absolute nonsense.
Not everybody is this happy.
Right. No. So it's kind of interesting to me to see where our collectives were. And it sort of is across the board. And, in the middle of a war, I started thinking like, oh my God, like President Zelensky is a comedian. I wonder if he's ever had anybody jump up and try to kill him. And then I went, oh no, Putin. That's because he has no sense of humor. He's who started a war. Somebody who just
understand Chris Rock.
Yeah.
What leader would? George W. Bush. Remember that somebody threw those shoes at him?
Yes.
Yes. He actually had a great comeback.
Yes.
That was classic. And you know what? Yeah. He and after a point, actually, it's true. So the collective. What?
Well, you know what? The questions are coming in already.
Oh, okay.
Which is good. Wow. So, folks, everyone, I'd say 5 or 6 months ago, we just said, let's just do an ask us anything. Because so many times we come with the content to the family, to our community. Said, well, let's have the community come to us. And it's been a very successful venture. I think this is our third one. It's our third one. Second? Wow, time's flying. So a few things here. So if you're watching us live, put in questions in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them. Nice surprise, Christy White, who can't watch us tonight because she's actually getting an award tonight.
Yes, I know she is. Yeah. She's supposed to be recording it.
Yes. Well, she actually sent some questions that she has for us. Oh. Plus, I see that Jen has some questions. So hail up Jen Myers as always. And I see other people are watching. Put the questions in the chat. We're going to do our best to answer them. So I'm going to go with some of Christy's questions first. For those who don't know, Christy is a children's book author.
Fabulous writer that your child should have her books. If you're a well-rounded library for your child, you should have her books.
Yeah, her books are really good. I have them on my bookshelf.
Yeah.
So shout out to Christy, one of the family. So she asked us, what was your favorite or is your favorite children's book?
Mine was Sam Bangs and Moonshine.
Never heard of that.
And it was a book about a cat. I hardly can remember it, but I know I never went anywhere without that book. And then, as time went on, and it was about a lost cat somehow, and Moonshine and Bangs, and they were all cats, I think. anyway, I found the book. A friend of mine found the book again for me years later when I was in my 30s and gave it. I lost it again. This book, I always misplace it because I move around a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that it has something to do with the characters, even in the book, moved around a lot. Like they were, and I'm wondering now when I'll find it again. But it was like on a street, on a side street. Someone was doing a flea market or something. So yeah, that was my favorite book, and I would not go anywhere without that book. Just like I wouldn't go anywhere without my pet whale, which was a stuffed whale, Willie the whale. And
do you still have Willie?
No, and Peppy, my bear, my little stuffed bear who was so raggedy looking and so just sewn up at the edges at the end. And that's the saddest part about divorces and breakups and things like that. I often think it's always good for kids to come home and find their yearbook and have all their stuff.
Oh, I'm
not really into like getting rid of your kids' stuff. I know people are, but I don't like it. No, I just couldn't fit it all in my homes.
I mean, my mother has never gotten rid of any of our stuff. I think it's in our basement.
I think that's sweet. And that's my American concept of Americana, like being able to go home. And actually, I don't have a home to go home to. So, but in my mind, that's what it would be.
Okay, cool. Aisha,
my favorite children's book. I didn't really read the little books that kids read. I read books of chapters. So my favorite book were the Ramona Quimby books by Beverly Cleary. All of them, the whole series.
Yeah. Ramona the Pest. That was one of when I got a little older.
I don't even. I've never heard of those.
Ramona Quimby.
Oh my God.
Loved them.
Mm-hmm. Love those books too.
Ramona
those
and Henry.
Were brilliant.
Yeah, I love them.
Yes.
Well, for myself, I don't remember anything, but the first thing that comes off my head is Cat in the Hat.
Oh wow. Yeah, that was great.
That's the first thing that comes off my head. Cat in the Hat. So hello.
I think I actually would have to say I think Cat in the Hat played a lot into why I eventually evolved into liking E.E. Cummings, because Dr. Seuss always had this really great rhyming thing and play on words and sounds, and E.E. Cummings did as well. He was a more grown-up Dr. Seuss for me.
Cool. Nice.
I actually was reading a Ramona Quimby book the first time I saw the When Doves Cry video.
How funny. Wow.
Okay. Well, we got it. So kicked off. And actually, Jen's got a lot of questions, and there's still more from Christy. Jen, Christy had a question that's similar to one that Jen put up. So Christy asked, what is the most memorable career moment of all time? So, and then also Jen had a question, what has been the most rewarding moment of your career? So basically the same question. So let's say, what has been the most rewarding career moment in your career? Or rewarding moment in your career?
Honestly, for me, it was connecting with Jill.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Because I told this story before, but I was introduced to Jill through a Tina Marie album when I was 6. So. Yeah.
Wow.
I know Jill didn't expect that.
So my friend in my head is my friend. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been an honor to meet you as well. But that being said, I mean, I would probably have to say that I don't think that what I've had has actually been a career. In a weird way, it has been, but these are just things that I've done. And I don't know if I've actually ever really gone for it, like what I should have done in life. I feel like I might have been a little bit of a cop-out, like I took kind of the easy road and sang and fell into those little traps that were there. And I could never really finish anything because I just signing a record deal was the equivalent of going to university and going into debt for your entire eternity of your life. That's what that was. you know, so that was a really bad experience. But rewarding, no. I would say the only good thing about it was being able to travel and meet people. But I wouldn't say that I've done anything that's been quite rewarding in my career. Not anything that to speak of.
Okay. Okay.
I know I've said things in the past, but as I get older, I'm like,
yeah,
it's not important. None of it was all kind of meaningless.
Yeah. And look, the thought in my head for me is that, look, I interviewed Michael Eric Dyson, the founders of Black Lives Matter, and it's like meeting Jill was the better part.
Yeah, I think it's who you meet in life. I think that's what makes it. I think that maybe that's what we're all here for, finding the people that we jetted off with. You know, in that movie that came out from Pixar last year where the guy died, the musician fell down in the hole, and
Soul.
then he got Soul, and then they all had to jump in, like jump back into it. Maybe that's what this is about. We just kind of meet up with people. We don't know why we like them or how we got there. Maybe that's all it really. I kind of feel that that's what this is. I don't know what my reward. Nothing sticks out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't really. I just okay, and this again indirectly related to Jill. Memorable meeting Prince, and chatting with him for 15 minutes.
Right.
I think, but I don't idolize him. I just think that's not a thing.
But you've got great awards and all that stuff for your things, like your endeavors. You've got some. You've done some great, like accomplished a lot.
I'm humbled and thank you. And I, unlike you, Jill, I really don't think them as really big things. Like it's my passion. So it's not
but you've helped children in crisis. You've done some things that I've never done. I mean, to be honest with you.
But each one of us have added positive value in our own way to the world.
Yeah.
My opinion. So I think, I don't know, career-wise, you know, helping a lot of families.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm blessed to have it a lot, because even the other day I was sitting down with a lady who's an entrepreneur. She has a full-time job, plus she's running a clothing store in downtown Toronto.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Girl, sit down somewhere.
Well, this is and she has done. And I asked her, you know, how much time do you get to see your son?
Right.
And she broke down and cried for 5 minutes. And my much younger self would have said, "Oh, stop crying," but I just let her have her moment. I didn't interrupt.
Did she cry because she doesn't see him?
She doesn't see him.
She doesn't see him.
She doesn't see him a lot. So what we were able to do is I got her to commit to decide that she's going to either spend half an hour every day or spend 10 minutes with her son on the phone every day. Because sometimes she comes home and her son's sleeping. Right? So those are wonderful moments when you can help someone identify something that's really important to them and help them make a decision and commitment to move forward.
Absolutely. True.
So I'm blessed to get those rewarding moments, remember moments regularly. So to me, that's just as important as meeting someone like Prince, because that's someone that you're helping in somewhat of a little bit of a crisis moment.
Right.
In that sort of vein. So, but I think each one of us has value. Each one of us has value. It's just if we agree, you know, if we take the next step and do something with it, right?
Yeah, right. I guess I just don't. I'm kind of going anti-career concept in my head. Exactly. I think that we should all make moves with whatever is illuminating us at that moment, because it's like it's guiding us to move. I don't think people should be stuck in something for their whole years and wait for their retirement. I think we should, and if you want to, that's fine too. But I feel like whatever is illuminating you, and you're going, like, you know, that log ride at the do the log ride with your life.
There you go. All right. So I'm purposely going to go through Christy's questions that I'm going to give everyone else, because Christy sent them in early. So I think she should. So who is the person you have admired most in life? Ooh, I don't know if I can sit to one. Actually, I can say one, but I'm not going to go first because I always believe in ladies first.
I'll go. I'll say my child, because she is just an amazing person, very humble, very caring, and she does very well at taking care of herself and her own mental health. And so that's something that I really admire about her.
Wow, that's big. Yeah, it's interesting, Jill. How many parents would say that?
I don't know. I don't know if people even have the time or even like we
Exactly.
know to even know their kids that well to say
So,
that.
Aisha, I want to say that I almost want to put that as a clip. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm gonna see if Travoy can make that a clip right there, because I think I think a lot of parents need to hear that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I learned probably more from her than she's learned from me.
Right.
Wow. Jill?
Starting with that very first day that I brought her home, and she was looking at me like it was a joke that I was her mother.
Right.
And, I mean, she's like off in that little car seat looking around like, is this a joke, God? Please.
Right.
That's so cute.
So funny.
Jill?
I don't know if, I mean, people have disappointed me and let me down in life. And the safest bet for me was to not have any expectations of anybody and to not admire anybody, but admire them loosely, lightly from afar.
Right.
And because a lot of times I spent my whole life just waiting on the shoe to drop of them like disappointing me. So people come in waves, and people I admire it in many, many different times at different points based upon the character of perseverance, integrity. Integrity is a big thing for me. When I can see somebody walk away from something or to be so clear-headed, I admire people who can sort of just make decisions and be okay with their choices and not whinge about it for the rest of their lives. They're take it on the chin and go on. It's more for me admiring character in heroic moments that people have, and we all have them. We all have those opportunities and experiences. So yeah, I admire that, because we all have our bad days and we all have our good ones.
Okay. My easy go-to is my dad, because he means the world to me, and he's just done so much. And as we go along in our journey of our relationship, I find out more and more and more, and the sacrifices he continues to make for our family, and as I always say, when I ask my dad how's he doing, he says, as long as my kids are okay, I'm okay.
That's wonderful.
That's sweet, simple. And hey, as I've shared with people before, my relationship with him was not on the greatest until, unfortunately, we almost lost each other. And that turned it around. But just to see his wisdom, and when he says, I'm so proud of my sons and my daughters, that and he says it with pride. And like when we go to events and like a lot of our family are there, he's like, that's his shining moment. That's a shining moment for him. So he's taught, he wasn't, he really believed and still believes in family. When he was younger, it was work for the family, and now he's a long time retired, but now caring and making sure the family, whatever he can to have the family okay and keep the family going. And actually, here's another thing too. I didn't know until about 10 years ago, he actually helped a young gentleman in Jamaica. He funded him going to law school.
Oh, how amazing. Wow.
Yeah, to law school.
Whew.
And I said, wow, like not only having the energy for our family, but for other families. But yeah,
that's incredible.
Helped them through law school. So that is another good question, another good Christy question. So keep them coming, folks. Okay, next question. Obviously, we'd get this one. Most favorite song of all time. I can't do this because I don't have one favorite.
If this world were mine by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell.
Wow. Actually, I can't. I'll choose one, but it's not my absolute. But I can choose one. Joe, you want some time to think about this?
Yeah, because I really don't know if I have one.
And Jen is saying, Dr. Vibe, I'm very close to my dad also. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. For me, there's so many. There's one of them is I love. There's a jazz guitarist named Pat Metheny. Love Pat Metheny. Actually, I've seen him in concert 15 times, and there's just something when he's performing. It just I feel like his guitar and his soul is just speaking to me. He has a song called called First Circle, which starts slow, builds, and just comes to a huge climax at the end. It's almost like a journey. And whenever I'm going through a tough time or need resiliency, that's one of my go-to songs.
Nice. I like Pat Metheny a lot.
Yeah, just
I liked what he did with the
Falcon and the Snowman.
Falcon and the Snowman. Amazing song. Amazing with David Bowie.
This Is Not America. Oh, yeah. Whoa, beautiful song.
La, la. This is not America.
Interesting. You know something? Interesting song for these days.
Totally. I've played it many times lately. I'm sad to say it really made a comeback, right?
Yeah,
what we think about how we put those guys in jail for treason, but for selling ideas, just secrets to Russia. And today we could barely get anybody out of their car for not only storming the Capitol, for threatening to kill people. And yet what we did before to spies in our country was amazing. And we had an amazing soundtrack with David Bowie singing on it. And Sean Penn and Tim Hutton were really good in that movie. Yeah, and the Falcon and the Snowman. Pat Metheny was killing it. And today, that's the only difference. We don't have a justice system like we did then.
Yeah. No,
at all.
And it just makes you think, how did that collaboration happen?
I don't know. I'm sure.
And you know what? And Pat Metheny doesn't do a lot of interviews. I'm going to reach out and say, that'd be one of the first questions. How did you and David Bowie collaborate together? It was a magical collaboration.
Right.
But I just thought I love that song. Thank you, Joe, for bringing that one. I haven't heard that in a long time. Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
I mean, I don't really have a favorite song of all time because I just love so many different types of music for many different reasons. And a lot of my memories are tied into them. But if I had to say, pick a song that kind of established who embodied myself as a person, some qualities or characteristics of myself as a friend or as a person who cares about people in my life, it would be the old song, which always got me. And as a child, I would just go into tears listening to this song, and I don't know why, but it was Baby, I'm Yours. Baby, I'm yours. Baby, I'm yours. And I'll be yours. I always found that song incredibly poignant, loving, adoring, and really sad on some level. And very, for many, many reasons. It's a great song about loss in a weird way, about abundance, all sorts of things about, people that are really important to you. And I think that would be the epitome of myself as a person, of people who I know and people who I belong to, or people who belong to me,
So Jen puts up a classic song, Piano in the Dark by Brenda Russell.
Oh, great song. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really great song. That was a beautiful song. Hadn't thought about that one in a while. Gorgeous.
You're muted, Dr. Vibe.
I think we're gonna have to do that video episode.
Uh-huh.
I think it's getting closer and closer. We got to do that video episode. It does this actually. Another great piece of music, actually two great pieces of music for me, is Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder, and also Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Beautiful. I love Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
And he's touring again. I thought he had stopped.
I thought he had stopped.
He's touring again. And I'm saying, geez, do I want to spend this absurd amount of money?
I know.
But it sounds like the way the tour is happening, it's going to be the full Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album. And if that's it, that may push me to go see it. But
don't even ask me what the words are to Yellow Brick Road, because as a child, we all make up words as we're singing, and but back to the cabin door bow,
back to the holy black toad.
So I found myself my future lies beyond the yellow brick road.
That lyric, you're the singer. I ain't going there.
But when people used to do that whole Benny and the Jets stuff, and they've made jokes about how, we were so little and the songs were so hooky, but so intricately hooky. They weren't just some old bull bag, boring sing-song rhymey stuff. They were tricky melodies, right? But hooky. And I didn't know all the words, and probably still sing all the wrong words to Benny and the Jets. I mean, it's so.
I put that at the end.
I remember sitting on my grandparents' driveway. I don't know why I'm sitting in the driveway singing Benny and the Jets with my cousins talking about something. Yeah, I remember the black tarp sitting that it's just a very flash image of sitting there. Benny. So weird, right?
I love that album. There's songs like, actually, if you get a chance on YouTube, the first two songs on that album is Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. And and if you can actually go on YouTube and see him performing it in the early 70s at Central Park in New York City.
Right.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. That it was.
He has that really sad song. Sorry seems to be
the hardest
so
word.
Sad.
So sad.
So what can we talk it over?
Yeah.
That song there was a point where I couldn't even listen to that song without sobbing. Like I anywhere.
Well, I can tell you my
situation, and it's getting more and more absurd. It's sad, so sad.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Aisha. Sorry.
I can tell you my second favorite song is Shook Ones by Mobb Deep.
Wow.
Part 2.
Wow. Nice. Nice. Yeah, but Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Tell me, Gray Seal, how does it feel to be so wise, to see through eyes that only see? Tell me, Gray Seal.
Oh, you must have read. Did you read the liner notes?
Of course I read liner notes.
Wait, the lyrics?
I miss liner notes.
I read liner notes. I read who wrote it, who produced it, who played on it, all those things. To me, that was just as important as listening to the music itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
who remembers that song, Afternoon Delight?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Afternoon
Who sung that?
Delight. I don't remember. The something's in the kitchen and the being in the morning and I don't know. I know I'm singing it all.
Jill, you do. I hope you do karaoke once in a while. We'd love to see that. That'd be hilarious.
I'm the worst karaoke person in the world. If you want to hear, and here's the interesting thing. I'm really a bad singer at karaoke. For some reason, it's not. I try to
We have great families.
the work.
Starland Vocal Band song
Yes.
Afternoon Delight.
Well, the kitchen's in the morning and also I'm drunk usually at karaoke, so I never sang drunk. I'm really bad singer drunk, because one time I was drinking. I told you guys this on my record recording something, and David Z was like, "Okay, well, I think we're done for the night," because I was like, "'Cause I only want." It was just a glass of wine. I thought I could do like a Billie Holiday and all those women. Thank God, because he was like, "Well, I'm tired. Let's get out of here."
And actually, the person who asked us that question was Christy's son.
Oh wow!
So he wanted to know that from us. I again, and also any song on Songs in the Key of Life, and I'll even go deeper. There's about 5 albums in a row that Stevie Wonder released.
Yeah, his classic period.
Any song in that 5 stretch,
it's true.
It was like, and it's interesting. Stevie Wonder's still alive, family. He's
and
still
what he
alive.
did with Sarita Wright, anything he did with Sarita Wright for me was like the jam. I love those collabs between those two.
I have like I was playing like Visions and Village Ghetto Land on repeat.
Oh wow, you got me going there. And the songs like Have a Talk with God.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I'm like, I heard this. I know I've heard this song outside of being home for Visions, and I couldn't place it. Then all of a sudden it came to me. Genuine and Timberland sampled it for a song. For my favorite.
Why must it be you always creep into my dreams?
Like
when I sleep at night, baby.
Is there still music like that anymore?
No, but here's the thing: when people ask you what your favorite, who your favorite artist is, Stevie, you don't have to say Stevie Wonder because that's a given.
Well, it's funny. One of my members of Q, D. Chansonberry, who co-produced Dark Girls and produced Dark Girls 2.
Right.
The first time I interviewed him, he was telling me when he was dating that he would ask the lady who her favorite musicians were, and if she didn't say Stevie Wonder in the top 5, he dumped her.
Oh my goodness, no! Oh, that's hilarious. Okay,
but he's very close to Stevie Wonder, and actually they have a very good relationship. And to the fact when Chan's mother passed away 2 years ago, Stevie sent a personal message to him, and he's pushing to see if he can do a documentary on Stevie Wonder.
That'd be great.
Oh, that's amazing. And Golden Lady was a good one.
Oh
yes! Oh my God, I love that song.
That's
like my absolute favorite Stevie Wonder
cinema
song.
saying Stevie will never. No, he will never die. No, he will never. Like, still,
I mean, he can't. Who else? Look, he can't. Who else is going to sing at all the tributes for the musicians who do?
Yeah, man. Isn't it funny for a person who's blind? He's outliving so many people.
Oh, let's not talk all that stuff up, y'all.
I'm sorry, but I think he's tired of doing it. It's like, can y'all call somebody else for a change?
I think, you'd be surprised from the people. I always know that he tends to call. If he'll call, he makes himself available. Everybody that I've known where he's been, like at my cousin Robert's passing, Stevie was there. And he sang. He makes himself available.
He does.
He stays very true to friends. I mean, Robert wasn't, he knew Robert from when he was younger. And they're not all big celebrities that he really, I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing one right now. I think seriously, because
and I always have to remind people about this about Stevie Wonder. He is one of very, very few people who made a seamless transition from being a childhood star to an adult.
That's very true.
Good point.
It would be something that it has to do with who raised him, you know.
That's
Yep.
yeah. We get mad at Stevie has outlived so many of his peers and those younger than he. Yep, true,
Mm-hmm.
true. All right, we went deep on that one, so let's move to the next one. Biggest piece of advice you'd give your younger self?
Finish school completely and go to grad school. Like to, take it, do it for a summer and move on.
Okay.
Can you just not choose the minute you do?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I wish I would have become an entrepreneur much younger. And to the point where I think that if I had my choice, I wouldn't have went to university. I would have become an entrepreneur, right? Or not go to university, but go to college. But I wish I would have had the entrepreneur mindset much earlier in my journey.
But I think it's important that now that people know that it's taught and people are shown how to do that, because a lot of people are wallflowers, they're shy, there's a lot of things that go along with that, and I really do believe that people need to be shown how to play into their strengths more, because so many people are beating that 9-to-5 thing, but a lot of people are too shy to ask. How many people do I know who suck at dealing with sending off an invoice or getting paid for a job that they've done? I mean, that in itself is like, a lot of people go and hire people to do just that for them because they don't like that confrontational, or it has to be aggressive in order to get paid. So many things we've learned, and I think if they could teach those things in school to people about how to really address those things, entrepreneurship would probably, they'd have a whole different system. It wouldn't definitely be cogs in a wheel and corporate, let me just hide in the corporate world. It would shift the whole paradigm, basically.
Yeah.
Because that gets back to bartering and trading and all of that, like representation of yourself. And I think that somewhere when corporations came along and that whole 1950s, that whole industrial revolution happened, people were able to disappear in there and they lost their personalities and their strengths. And then there became this dependency on this entity and organization to provide you your life. Well, we see now how they feel about us. They don't care about people. Corporations don't like you. They don't really want you to thrive. It's not like having an old mom and pop boss where people really did kind of care about each other. All that's gone. So unfortunately, we've got to get back to the days. It's okay that they can't fill their jobs and find positions. It's actually okay, because all it means to me is the institutions are collapsing. And it's important that they do, because they treated people badly. They did wrong by people, and people need to learn how to fend for themselves. And that entrepreneurial spirit you're talking about, Dr. Vibe, which is what I love when you give your webinars and your things like that. People need to know how to do it. The seamstress needs to know how she puts something out to sell it, to make her coins.
Yes.
It's important. We can't, that's what needs to happen now. We need to prepare our people that way.
Good stuff.
So yeah, maybe I would have ran out of school then, to not gone to grad school then. I probably wouldn't have done it anyway.
Oh gosh, good stuff. Keep the questions flowing, people.
I mean, don't forget, we were coming from a society that had women chained down, the suffragettes, all this, people couldn't even vote. So the likelihood of going where somebody's going to take care of you, well, those days are over and they're gone. I mean, I was reading about Johnson & Johnson, where they're renaming their corporations and whatever and calling bankruptcy because they don't want to pay out the money that they cause so much cervical cancer with women, and all of us women who have put baby powder on our children. If I met somebody from J&J, I might actually they wouldn't have a great outcome. But the reality is that, they wouldn't have an outcome sitting and hanging with me. Although I did work at an advertising agency that did represent the J&J account, which spider webs everywhere, by the way, everybody. And that was a little disturbing. They all know this stuff. They don't care about you. They pay advertisers so they can learn how to lie. That's who people need to go for. Advertisers. This is where it all starts. That's the biggest lie of all.
Mm-hmm.
How can I lie about my life, your life, everybody's life in this product and all of it, and make money off of you and essentially kill you too?
Right.
You know, corporations are basically hit men and hit women. They're assassins.
All right. Next conversation question. What in your life are you most proud of?
My child.
Okay. I would say that I'm still alive,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, because I'm getting to a part of my journey where I'm going to funerals of people I went to school with.
Mm.
I know.
So I feel that I'm in an age where I have relations with people who are older than me, and I have relations with people that are younger than me. But they're people who I know who I not alive anymore or are not doing well health wise.
And see, that was happening to me in my 30s.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. I was losing friends left and right from cancer in their 30s.
Wow. I had that when I was much younger in my teenage years, to the point where I didn't want to answer a phone, because every time I answered the phone, it was another relative or friend of the family that passed away. I just said, stop.
Yeah, that's what my family has been like for the last 2 years. Is like it's anytime certain people call you, just know it's bad.
Yeah.
Facebook is like that for me. Going on
Yeah.
Facebook is like walking through a freaking cemetery. You know,
Oh my God.
honestly. And there's one person, a couple people I know on Instagram that have started doing it. It's like I had to mute them because it was like, I mean, anybody who passed away, there was always some kind of commentary. And, I'm all about paying homage and yes, but there's just something about that. We should have our choices on social media. Do I want to walk through the graveyards today or do I not? I just want to stay on the rosy road over here. Give me that algorithm today, because that's why I stopped going on Facebook so much, because, and also the Russian prostitution and bots and all that going on. I couldn't handle it. So, yeah, it was that way for me.
Okay.
All
right.
I'm most proud of, I would say, my daughter as well.
Okay.
But and my husband, I think that that comes in waves as well too for me. I guess, yeah.
Okay. All right.
People are I'm proud of anybody who can just get through these days that we live in.
Absolutely.
That's basically it.
Absolutely.
One day at a time. If you can make it, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Bravo for all the mothers and the fathers and the people who got through COVID and people who didn't have, who don't have money and are still waiting on their rent to be paid and what's still to come. I'm proud of you because it ain't over yet.
Right.
Exactly. All right. So going back in the musical vein, I think we've answered this in the past, but we'll go at it again because it may be different. Favorite Prince song?
I'll say Erotic City.
That was one of the ones I was going to say.
Because let me tell you, I have so many collections of that on vinyl, different versions of it, different like extended versions, short versions, 45. But my second would be And God Created Woman.
I'll let Jill go last on this one because she had the relationship. Give her some time to think if she can pull some. For me,
I don't have a favorite, so you guys can do what you want. I don't really have a particular favorite. Okay. Yeah.
Erotic City, especially when I saw it performed live. him and Sheila E. Seeing that done live to track, him and Sheila E. playing basketball on the stage, that, never forget that. Songs that are coming ahead, Scandalous. I thought it's a really cool song. There's so many, like, they're just throwing to my head, like, the Batman Bat Dance. I thought the video was really cool.
Oh my God, I can't stand that whole album.
Jeez.
That is like the one Prince album that I just can't listen to. I despise it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, and that yeah, I think those
it just wasn't good. I'm sorry.
I can't forget You Got the Look. I love that song. I'm getting into bad territory. All right.
You know, when I was 12, I was trying to figure out what kind of genius.
Jill, you still like me? Do you still love me, though, Jill? No,
Listen, I was trying to think what kind of genius decides to end a song the way that song ends. I love the way it ends. You Got the Look.
I never listened to the end. How did it end?
It's like it.
Other than
no, the music,
at my house.
No, the music just it just flips.
To what?
And it goes from the regular music to this. I love that.
Yeah. My favorite song that Prince covers, I have a number of Prince bootlegs. And one bootleg, he does a version of Just My Imagination. The guitar solo is ridiculous. And I don't think Prince gets enough justice for his guitar playing.
Now, you know what I did see that I enjoyed was Stevie Wonder and Prince do Maybe Your Baby by Stevie Wonder. Yes. And Prince did the high voice.
Yes.
It was so good.
Yes. But that version of Just Imagine, I gotta find that bootleg when I first heard that guitar solo, I said, I'm done. I'm done. I just said, forget it. Like, I'm done. Like, I just said, whoa. Like, that guitar solo, I say, it was one of the greatest guitar solos I've ever heard. Ever heard. It was just, I just went, that's a whole nother level. So Jill doesn't want to answer, but I guess maybe she'll answer this one. Someone's asked, favorite Jill Jones song? Sad. Our community asked that. Our community asked that.
I don't really have one of those either. I don't.
I will say Not Another Love Song in Violet Blue.
I like that. Yes, I second that emotion.
Thank you. Grazie.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that one. Very much so. Here's another interesting question. This will be interesting. What is your exercise routine in 2020?
Does lifting the fork to my face count?
I totally have a regime. I had to get one. You know, I have had a thyroid situation happening that is still being addressed. You know, as we all get older, I too have been losing hair. A lot of times for women over 50, a lot of times it can result in thyroid stuff, and you just have to get, you got to go through the tests and find out what's going on. I think, hair gets thinner. You've had kids, everything just shifts, it changes. So also being more sedentary through the pandemic was, not good at all. And, I had to up that because, as many of you know, I started baking like crazy, and baking brings eating, and eating brings sort of diet changes, gaining weight. And I was told to get a regime, exercise more, and move I still don't move it as much as I should, but I got a Fitbit. My husband got one for me. I'm really, pulling out the stops, doing a lot of walking with my girlfriend. Will drive over and we'll walk in the hills. And, really try to just haul a little. Playing tennis would be great, except my husband is so much better than me. He's like almost a 5.0,
What?
4.5. Yeah, he's close to that area. He's in the 4.0, 4.5 area.
And speaking of
I'm
which,
not.
Just speaking of which, you see Naomi got beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, not beat, she got whipped.
Yes. I mean, there's some really amazing young kids coming up, and what can you say? It is. So, I mean, I think that's been my regime now, is to find the exercise and really find that extra bit of strength to get me out of the damn door. Because I've noticed there's such this procrastination about getting up, putting on the shoes, and going. It's like I'm like 2 years old and going, and then just like maybe the last couple times I went for a walk, I was actually mentally ready to go and embrace that I was trying to do a walk. And I had a goal. I had goals about, I want to at least be able to, go 2 miles or 3 miles, And that was because there was one day, I tell you, I was walking with my friend and got lost. And when you get lost from where you parked and you realize you're like twice as far away and you got to walk back there and you're kind of pissed off about getting lost. And you're looking at your friend like, you didn't know we were walking off course, and anyway, coming back was and then I couldn't there was one leg of it. I just couldn't get back up the hill. I was like, I got to wait. She had to go ahead, get the car and come back and get me. Those moments were challenging, but I didn't realize I was so bloody out of shape. But those blood tests were not lying. They were like going, girl, get going or you're going to have a problem. Yeah. The sugar was high. All of it was just, it was just a really not a great result. So I will have to have more, to follow up to see how well I've been going. But yeah.
I was joking about the fork thing, but I watched this. Spice Adams is a comedian.
Yes.
So he did this one clip where he is getting ready to box and he's playing Method Man and Redman's The Rottweiler. And then he starts boxing it. But he's like, this is how long it takes you to box this song. And he's like dancing the whole time, right? It's a really short song. It's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I saw that. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I got myself the boxing thing and the gloves.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started out one day to do that. And I got so busy just dancing. I never hit it.
Wow. And boxing's great for your body though. If you can do it. I used to do it when I was younger, but now probably I pass out.
Yep. I got
Wig Maniac says weight training is great. For myself, many years ago, I used to do spin classes 5 days a week. and I hadn't done it for a long time.
So you loved it.
I loved it. And to the point where I actually have a spin bike at home.
Wow. Because
the instructor I went, short story, loved my spin classes. And one time I went, was a new instructor, and it's different now, but back many years ago, a lot of spin instructors, they didn't look like they were in the best of shape. Just put it out there. But this guy came in, black gentleman, lean, etc. And the music, he'd be singing the songs. The women loved it.
Right.
So I'm going in the change room with him. I say, look, guy, within a week, people are going to be fighting over your classes.
Right.
He says, nah. Next class, ladies fighting to get a seat.
Wow.
Fighting. And I said, you know what? I have to fight enough Monday to Friday. If I come to your class on a Saturday, I don't want to fight for a seat. So this is many years ago. I went on eBay, bought a brand new spin bike for $100.
Right.
And long before the Peloton stuff, I would just go on YouTube, see videos people were doing with spin classes and do that. I've shaved away from it a bit, but I'm going to get back to it. And I have a treadmill too, because I hear you, Joe. For me to get out that door can be challenging, can be very challenging. And for myself, I said, okay, you know, why don't I just bring it all home? And for me, my exercise routine, when I'm exercising, I'm thinking about that 20-minute shower I take after. That's my reward. I love a good long shower after I work out, but haven't done it enough. Like right now, I'm only maybe working out 1 or 2 days a week. I want to and plus the stuff's here, and I'm just not making the time to do it.
It's true. I'm the same. You know, I have my weights here, and it's like coming up with this schedule. The other thing, a lot of times, you know, I thought that I used to be like a perfectionist. Which, you know, a lot of people think that when you're a perfectionist, which is why you can't get anything done, or but the interesting thing about being a perfectionist, which can create procrastination tendencies. I just read this interesting thing that perfectionist actually means that you are avoiding the shame, the pain, the aggravation, all of it that comes with it. So you won't do it.
Right.
That's your perfectionism. So you have such a fear of it that it's not going to be perfect. Right. So you won't even do something. It is, so you will avoid all of that judgment, all of the critiquing. I remember once getting a really bad review on my album, which is why even those era of time is very difficult. It was somebody in People magazine, and they were so unfair and so horrible that I hated critics from that day. And even though I have been a really horrible judge to people, I should always remember that there's a way to say things to people, because that was crushing. I just couldn't believe that anybody actually made money doing that as a job. I thought, what a disgusting job to criticize somebody. And that's why I don't like reviews either. I don't like looking at reviews over restaurants or anything. I want to make my own decision, because I don't know who the person is over there, and I don't know what their beef is or what their I'm torn about that. But anyway, back to the whole thing. That's the thing about going out and having achievement issues. Like, can I get up that hill? There's one hill here that is my goal, where the puma lives, actually. But then there's a part of me which is like, I better make sure I'm in really good shape to get up there if I need to like run back from the puma.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Aisha, anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
Good. All right. Fork. I always think now.
Exactly.
Fork. Exercise.
Oh, please. I love a good fork. Are you guys kidding? When I told my friends about my stuff.
Why did I go there?
And they were like this. They went, Jill, I was like, my cholesterol is really high, guys. They were like, of course, the cheeses that you have, the creams, the this, the that. You know, I'm like, oh my God, this cheese, I just got it in from Vermont, and it's blah, 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 or this cheese from everything. Yeah.
Oh,
no surprise. God. I love a good fork, and I love thrifting for forks. Oh my God.
You're kidding.
I love finding cutlery at yard sales or old real stuff, real silver, the real deal, real china. I want that. I like Saturdays. Like
okay.
That.
All right. All right. This was asked to us before, but it's been asked again. Do any of you speak a different language?
I can read Spanish.
Well, many of you know French was, I did pretty okay in some French. I've lost a lot of it, but still can understand a lot of my conversations with my friends and people I consider my family. I got stronger with it over the years, even not being there. And German has still been a labor of love. I can't say I've perfected German, but my husband, we've been married very long time now, but you could probably spend a lifetime with an individual and not learn all of German. I mean, there are words that
I'm waiting to hear this. I'm getting comfortable to hear this right now.
Well, like with the verbs, it is all memory. Der, das, all of that. There, a lot of things follow rules. English, I can't imagine people have said English is difficult to learn on certain, and some things the rules are you just Like you just have to memorize what the rules are. Like you just have to memorize the word. And it's the same with German on a certain level. There's just some things you go, well, why is it that? And it's like, because that's just the way it is. And you just have to memorize that. Mm-hmm. So you're like, okay, that's like 500 words. I'm going to have to like memorize because they're not mean like the French are when you conjugate something and it's all jacked up and you're ordering something in France. The Germans are more like, they'll give you the time to correct you and give you that lesson about your bad German and the way you put your words wrong in an ever so polite way. They don't want you hanging out there. Eric will correct me. And,
oh my.
Yes,
all
I
right.
will be corrected with my pronunciation.
Oh,
it took me forever just to say Eichhörnchen, and I don't even know, and that's squirrel. And I don't know how many times I'm going to need to say squirrel.
So Jill, my dad was a teacher for 38 years. Mm-hmm. He still corrects me on my emails I send to him. Like, I had a bus, and when I'm chatting with him, he'll say, "No, that's not correct." I'm going,
oh my God, just get Grammarly. Put Grammarly on that.
Yes.
So it starts to, I know.
Yes.
Wow. And see, I'm the one that everybody sends their stuff to look at first.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's good. You should be honored that people do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Here's another one. And I thought this is one I just thought of. Did you have a favorite teacher?
Yes. Dr. Raymond Winbush from when I was a grad student at Fisk.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
I got to reach out to him. I've not spoken to him forever. Why was he a favorite, Jill? I mean, Aisha.
He was just so knowledgeable about history and Black history in particular. And he was a psychology professor. And he introduced me to this book called Even the Rat Was White, which talked about experimentation on Black people's bodies in the medical field.
Whoa.
And one of the first times that I went to his office to talk to him about something, he was playing Prince's Crystal Ball album.
You're kidding.
Mm.
Wow. You have just inspired me to reach out to him because I interviewed him a number of years ago. Okay. Mm-hmm. Jill, any favorite teacher or teachers at all? No.
No. Life.
Life. For me, a few. I think I may have shared this before, but a number of years ago, I went to my public school's 50th anniversary. Mm. And that was quite the moment. Because first of all, I went in the gym and I said, like, I know people's houses that are bigger than this gym. And I played sports in this thing.
Wow.
And then and I was walking around in the school, and the library was probably the size of most people's living rooms these days. Mm. And there was a gentleman in the doorway of the library, like leaning himself up with a cane. And it was the principal when I went to that public school.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
And so I sat down with him, and he was amazing. He said, and he shared with me saying that when I went to the public school there were only 3 other Black families. And he said he had to take a lot of heat for us Black families being in that neighborhood and attending that school.
Oh my God. Mm.
So I thanked him immensely because I didn't know and would have known that story. And that was quite the story. Quite the story. But other teachers, I don't think I had a bad one. I had some crazy ones. There was a gentleman named Mr. This is crazy because as I go on my journey, I remember more. A lot of people don't remember much when they go on. I'm remembering more. There's a gentleman named Mr. Caucus. And the first time I met him, he could not pronounce my name for the life of me. And he wanted, I objected to him about something he said to me, and he wanted to fight me. I just went, come on, man. Like, do better than that. Do better. But that principal's name was Mr. Noter. Incredible guy.
Well,
I remember one teacher I hated, Mrs. Darrington. She was a science teacher.
All science teachers are bad.
But
don't go there.
But I thought she was a Black teacher, and I thought she was just incredibly racist to me. I thought she thought I was white or something, but I felt vibes from her. I did not like her. She was unfair. She was unyielding, and she made me absolutely hate biology. She was my biology. I hated it, and I hated her, and I still don't like her. She was, really not right, and she should not have been teaching children.
Yeah. Well, my mother was a teacher for 47 years.
Wow.
I believe, yeah. And so there was gosh, I forgot what I was going to say now. Daggone, I lost. Oh, yes. I had this chemistry teacher in 10th grade, and she was very pregnant. And she had a lot of our papers to correct. She took all the papers and things with her to the hospital when she delivered the baby.
Oh, no.
The nurses and the doctors threw everything out.
What?
So she failed everyone because she had no work to grade us on. So my mother saw that F on my report card. My mother went to her, and she's like, and she looked at my mother. She's like, "Oh, hi," and she's like, "Well, here's what I have for grades." And my mother was like, "Knock it off, Callie-Ann." And I was like, because I didn't realize that they went to college together.
Oh, wow.
That's why she called her that.
Oh, wow. Horrible. See, they try it. And, yeah, it's really terrible to have a bad teacher. It's bad. And when you can only remember the bad ones and not the good ones, that's really not great. I wish I could say I had one in first grade that I really liked, Miss Miller, but I mean, I was a kid. I only liked her because I really thought she was stylish and she was pretty and nice and whatever. But I was a kid. But as I got older, teachers weren't. No.
One of our board members for the nonprofit I work for, he asked me, like when we had the first meeting, he asked me if I was related to Gail Staggers. I said, yes, that's my mother. He said, for real. He said, my daughter's had your mother as a teacher.
Wow.
Nice.
And I can't go any place without hearing that.
Well, hopefully they liked her. Did they like her?
Oh, everybody liked her.
Okay. All right.
That's how I actually met my best friend. She was one of my mother's students.
Nice.
No.
Sounds like she's a good teacher and people like her. Mm-hmm. That's always, I think that it's just the concept that you're going to find those special people all under one roof at one given time in one given year is a ridiculous concept that can happen. The only thing you can hope for is that each kid has a different personality, that maybe a handful will walk away with a great memory. But by and large, the way it's set up, it's very rare that they're all going to have wonderful experiences.
Well,
yeah, I'm actually the only person in my family not teaching right now. At one point, all of us were.
Wow. Well, I have to thank Mrs. St. Jacques, because I'm remembering these names more and more. This is crazy. But I remember we moved into the neighborhood, and I start the year in October, and I skipped grade 2. I never did grade 2. I went from grade 1 to grade 3. There were like only 3 other kids in our class went from 1 to 3. I never did grade 2.
My daughter skipped kindergarten.
There you go.
Oh, wait. I had one acting teacher in school, Mr. Ingalls, John Ingalls, and he went on to be in General Hospital as one of the he was an older man.
One of the Quartermains?
Yes, he was a Quartermain. And kind of over the top.
Quartermains.
Yeah. That's where I got my wonderful acting skills from. But I always liked him. He was a really nice, polite, cordial, very professional, and very charming man, and he cast me in Twelfth Night, I remember. And I was a kid, but I don't know which. There was some really weird other play that I did, Phaedra or something like that. Antigone. Yeah. So yeah, he was great. Yeah, I liked him a lot. Was a good man.
Okay. Cool.
And he didn't get on my case when I was ditching classes and hanging out. See, that wasn't easy either. It wasn't just the teachers.
When you were ditching classes and hanging out at Rick James.
Hanging out, I was hanging out in the theater room and
Or at
Rick's
house.
yeah, coming in and out of like the theater department. So maybe that's why I don't really remember any teachers. Like, who did we go to school together? Who are you?
Oh, you are hilarious. That is too funny. Well, people, if any of you are watching this live, we're going to start winding it up. So if you have any other questions, get them in quick. We can probably have like one or two more we're going to do, and that's it. So next question. What book are you reading this month?
Hang on. You guys go. And
okay, you're going to get it. All right.
Show you my book.
Well, I'm reading a book called Homegirls because I wrote it. Oh. It's about so far I have 65 pages. I'm reading it, so I'm trying to figure out if I can take it any further. But it's about 6 girls, teenage girls who grew up in the city I grew up in, and they're all connected by this one event of a drive-by shooting.
Oh, what's that?
I was saying how I was revisiting this novel that I started writing. And it's about these 6 high school girls who are all connected by this one event. Oh. It was a drive-by shooting. And it's actually based on...
What's it called? I'm looking it up.
Oh, I didn't publish it, but I'll send it to you by email.
Are you going to publish it?
Yeah, when I finish it, yeah, but I'll send you what I have. But I based it off of when I was in high school, this kid named Sebastian. I just talked to him. We just exchanged numbers, and I was so pissed that he didn't call me like he promised to. The reason he didn't call me is because he was dead. And I found that out the next day when we went to school.
Oh, wow.
And that, like, you know, that was one of those things where it's like, he was such a nice kid. It's like you go to school one day and then no one was there. And that was the reality of my high school experience. It was like you basically rolled the dice to see who wasn't going to be at school the next day. But that event, they're all connected by that one event in some way.
Okay. Jill?
I'm reading Principles by Ray Dalio. And Ray is a hedge fund manager, he had Bridgewater, I think, and Associates. These are principles of success. And this was from like 2017. And I guess a friend sent it to me and I started reading it several months back. I put it down. Then I just picked it up actually again this month, funny enough. And it's just different principles on how he pulled that together with the whole hedge fund and his start in the stock market and all those kind of things and commodities. And then other little principles of life that just sort of parlay into his life and his decision making. And I think I found it really interesting, definitely interesting, because you see people how they learn how to build wealth and in Black families, and it's something that hasn't really been taught enough on how to build wealth, and they all have inherited wealth, most of them. It's so funny. They do all start on third base. You know what I mean? They're all born on third base, second or third, but I don't think he really was. So it's kind of interesting to see how he really maneuvered through. The only thing that helped these people is like their white skin, helped them to maneuver a little easier. But there's a lot of discipline that and how you approach paying bills, how you approach paying for everything, saving. Sure. Like right now, everybody should be saving a little bit more than we're spending, just because we don't know what the hell is going on. It is keep one eye open,
Yep, absolutely.
because it's just like, it looks interesting, it's odd, and we're paying more for stuff, but just save a little more.
Well,
yeah, because the other shoe could drop at any minute.
Well,
Absolutely.
This is interesting because I've been listening to a number of commentators saying we're headed for a recession.
Absolutely.
So that's another conversation maybe we'll get to next week. I don't buy too many new books because I don't make the time to read and go out and read. But one of the books I'm reading right now, rereading, is a book called Black Men, Obsolete, Single, and Dangerous.
Oh, wow.
The African American Family in Transition. This book changed my life.
Wow.
As a black man, as a human being, period. And it's funny because through my journey, I've had live conversations with different black men, and many black men say that this book has impacted them. But this book, and one of the key premises in this book is that when I first read it back in 1990, is that African heritage is communal, European and North American heritage is individual. So blacks are always going to have a challenge because it's like trying to be a round peg in a square hole.
Yeah. We're community
What do
oriented.
you guys mean? What are we community oriented?
That black people are more community oriented. That's because and that's the truth with most races of color, that there's a communal spirit in the as part of the culture, where for Europeans it's very individualized. It's me and I, whereas with other communities it's us and we.
I don't know.
The perfect example is this. You know how if someone's on Twitter and says, are white men okay? You'll have one person say, well, I'm a white man and I'm okay. But that's not if it doesn't apply to you, then leave it alone. But it's always that kind of thing, like taking things personally as an individual.
I think that Black Americans take things personally now. Yeah. It's off the charts, it's like, I really do. I wanted to say, yesterday I was out, I don't know if many people know, we've been having a lot of these grab and go kind of things.
Yes.
So we were at a shop yesterday. My husband went in and I decided to wait in the car. And I saw these kids roll up in really BMWs, Teslas, everything, you name it, maybe like 10 cars. And they were packed. They all jumped out. Now, you're a little shop and you see that roll up, you get really freaking nervous. And they were all boys. They were all guys. All of them were guys. And they were all from the Eastern Bloc, I'm going to say. They were from the Eastern Bloc area. They were having a really weird thing with that, of the ones who are emulating Putin. Second generation of Eastern Bloc immigrants who've come here, and their children have developed a love and fanaticism for this dictator. And so they all rolled in the store, and the security guards, I could see, I was like texting my husband, like, you need to get out of the store like now. So we're in a really weird, and I hate to blanket it. I hate to put a blanket on that group of people, but I don't know what's going on in this country. And if we are all, if it's we or I or everybody taking things personally.
Right.
But something's really shifted in a big way. It's all about bullying people and
Americans are crazy. That's what it is.
Identifying with something. But the identification with something, and it's not just Black people that are there. There's another underbelly that's rising here, and it's like I was like, damn, now I got to look out over my shoulder for these from Uzbekistan. What the is going on? Like who knew? But you see 10 deep rolling up. It's definitely like wild and right now. So I don't know where that gets into what's happening here, but I'm about ready to read The Violin Conspiracy if it's nice, or Ramona Quimby if you just to
there you
ease
go.
my mind.
There you go. Actually, I think it was, Cinnamon was saying The Violent Conspiracy is a great novel.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out.
Okay. All right. We're going to do 2 more and then we're going to close it down. Interesting question. Are you ready for in-person events? Now, Jill, you were at an in-person event recently.
Yeah, I
Tennis.
have done them. Yeah. I have
Aisha?
been doing a few.
No.
I even was supposed to go. I was actually supposed to go to someone's TED Talk recently because some have started them back up, but it got canceled. So I was willing to try that. People aren't wearing masks here, in the stores at all anymore. Like virtually, I'm the only one wearing
here in Toronto. Even though the mask thing has been basically, a lot of people are still wearing masks.
We're not seeing them. No.
Here too, but we got,
which is scary for elderly people. If you have elderly relatives, that's your biggest concern. Needs to be them, and people don't care anymore.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who've stopped wearing them, but there's a lot of people who still are.
Okay.
Like for example, if you take a lift or anything here, you have to wear one. In certain stores, you have to have one. Anytime you go into the doctor's office, you have to have one.
Okay.
If you go into the bank, it's required. Yeah.
Well, there's another wave coming. The New York Times just did an article today that the new variant is on its way. In the UK right now, 1 in every 13 people has COVID, and that's 5 million people they think has it right now.
Wow.
So here we go again, and we'll see how, this is just, I don't know. We're in a really weird place, but California. And if I could tell you, there could be a plague coming that like kills you instantly. And they tell people you're just going to evaporate, and people would not wear a mask. Americans would not do it. They don't care. They're over it. And they'd be like, I don't know. I guess that's just what was supposed to happen to you.
Now, my first big major event is going to be in August when I go see the Phoenix Mercury play Connecticut.
Oh, by the way, who's your prediction for the NCAA Women's Championship?
UConn.
Okay. Jen, that was quick. Jen says,
not just because my daughter goes there either.
Okay. Jen said, got my second booster yesterday.
Yay. Good.
Okay.
Now we see how smallpox was so easy and they slept well at night by giving it to other people.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. Here's a blanket. Bye. See you later.
Right.
Should have washed it first. Why would you accept a blanket for somebody you don't know without washing it, right? Yeah. All
right. So we're going to get to our last comment. DJ White, we need to clarify what you just asked there on YouTube. But I think this is a great question to end off. What is the biggest misconception people have about you? And I think it was Jen that asked this one. So this is good.
Okay. So a few years ago. A bunch of Prince fans thought I hated Maite Garcia.
Okay. All right.
Do you?
I don't know her.
Right.
It was, Jen says it was me.
Look, I'm like Mariah Carey. I don't know her.
I don't know what the biggest misconceptions are about me, and I'm sure that whatever people are thinking.
With all that Twitter love you get,
I know which one is. People keep thinking that you're white.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. But there have been some times I've woken up in the morning and said, I think I'm going to pass today. No, just because there's just been some
I need to remove you from the screen after that one.
Just like after the Oscar night, I was like, woke up the next day, I think I'm going to pass today. I just don't know. That was like, damn. No, yeah, it's funny because as I've gotten older, I actually think I look more whiter. It's something about, I don't know, I don't go in the sun as much. I don't have a convertible like I used to. And I had,
What was the model? What was the car, the convertible you had?
Oh, I had a Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
I had one of those. And then, and then other cars just always had convertibles. I think about it now, like I would never ride in a convertible out here because of, I wasn't wearing sunblock, none of that. I mean, it's awful to like think of this now. But yeah, those were different times. But yeah, that's a big misconception that, and that can be a problem. I think that for me, my latest big thing has been that I don't like people that at this point aren't embracing the full Black American diaspora, and not just Black American, just the full Black diaspora that we have across the world. And I don't really get off on other people bullying people if they're mixed race or if they're this or they're that inside the umbrella of our diaspora, if they're Spanish, if whatever, German, whatever, that we have that whole, what was it? Crabs in a barrel mentality. And sort of, I don't appreciate that. And I don't want anyone to feel that they have the right to not allow people to have a seat at the table or a voice at the table.
Well, we have to stop policing blackness.
And we've got to stop. What was it?
We have to stop policing blackness.
I agree. Yeah. That is very important to me, that we stop that and see ourselves as, united, not divided.
Okay, we do have, this is the last question. I'm just putting it up here. So DJ White clarified it. Okay. Favorite place or places to check out when you have free time?
My recliner watching my murder shows.
I think for me, it's I'm trying to check out more nature more right now, because as I said, I think that it's important. Lately, I've been like really tripping out on birds and the colors of nature, and going to the beach is really important to try to see more nature and natural settings, because I don't know how long that they'll be around, And
what did you say, Aisha?
I don't like nature.
Okay.
Really?
No,
okay.
All right. For me, I'm becoming more of a homebody. So in the summertime, just sitting out my veranda. Just
Love
sitting
it.
out of my veranda.
Oh my God, Dr. Vibe. Great memory. Imagine. I remember sassafras tea, which is definitely from Ohio, sitting in the backyard or garden and walking through long strands of grass barefoot. We used to do as kids.
Oh, yeah.
Lemonade and sassafras tea. Those were nice days.
Yeah.
It was the 60s,
And when we'll save it to the next one, but we have to have our destination places we like to go. We'll save that for next time.
Do you have potted plants or a garden that you have or anything?
Yes.
I enjoyed sitting on my balcony, but we had an unfortunate event.
Oh, right.
Okay.
You told us.
Well,
yes. Okay.
You did tell
Gotta
us.
Go.
Yes. Yeah. Not nice. Not nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
everybody will have nightmares. We can't do that to everybody.
I still have nightmares.
No. If you had to watch the last, we actually did that offline, so we're not even going to bring
remember?
that up.
Right.
Yeah, we're not going to bring that up. So, all right, family, that is what we put through a pile of questions today.
Yeah.
It's
excellent. Good. Well done, everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody. So thank you.
Somebody asked what kind of movie we could watch over and over and over.
Okay, let me.
Yes,
yeah, I
love that question.
Sorry. Okay, hold on. I saw that was a while back too. Mm-hmm. Oh, Jen, it's another Jen question. What movie do you never tire of watching, even though you've seen it so many times before?
I have two: The Wiz and The Temptations.
Okay, hold on. So
I could sit and watch those all day.
Okay, so
Wow.
let me go ahead, Jill.
The Last Emperor.
Why both of them? Why each
Bernardo
of you?
Bertolucci directed it. I think just the music is stunning, and just the history of it, and just the change of that era for me. And I also like Indochine. Was a great film that I love. Just that whole transition with Vietnam and France, and I love period films. Period.
Let me tell you, there are only two groups of people who should be doing music biopics. Those are the people who produced The Temptations and the people who did the New Edition story. I don't want to see anybody else do another film about musicians unless they're done to that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
They were both really good.
Nice.
The New Edition one was really good.
Biopics are hard sometimes for me. I think we are only getting a sliver of somebody, which is great. And I'm torn about how we tell stories. I would love to see more romance films.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of my favorites, sorry, that I would never be tired of is Cinema Paradiso. I think that for me, or Fellini, I think that Fellini, because everybody needs imagination and just the absurdity of things. I think that we need more films, but I'm afraid, Dr. Vibe and Aisha, that it's an era that's bygone. I think that, I was saying, my husband, some Marvel thing was on at the house last night, and I was walking by the room and I said, I never wanted to see cartoon comic book movies. I was never interested in them. And I'm still not, and they're formulaic and they're boring, and
the people who are fans of those are huge fans of them. Like they're like people. I'm not a Marvel person.
No, I'm not either.
And I have to be honest. Sorry if I turn off the world. I'm not a Star Trek person either.
No,
either. I confused the Avengers with the other ones.
I was okay to a point, but when they started overdoing it, it's like, okay, y'all done trekked me out. That's it.
Who are they? There's the Avengers and what, the Super Friends or whoever they are.
It's like,
you know more than I do.
I mean, I think I saw one. Yeah, it's too much. It's just too much for me. I mean, and then the remakes of the movies like Dune or whatever. Go pick up the book, read Dune, read the book. It was a fabulous book. But that's not where we're headed. And I'm really scared to think that in the future, there won't ever be a page for a book again.
Now, Imitation of Life is another one.
Ooh, I can't watch that.
I always cry at the end of that one.
No, I'm done with that one.
Precious Lord, take my hand.
I'm done. I saw it enough. One thing I actually found out that Gypsy Rose Lee, which we know they had her. Gypsy Rose Lee was the daughter who went and she became a stripper.
Right.
But June was the sister who really was an actress. And that in the peak of her career, she was making like $7,000 a week, which in today's standards, that would be $25,000 like a week.
Exactly.
June ran off with the boy. Like if you look back at that film, it kind of tells the story. Remember, June ran off. And so that was for me, one of the greatest shows ever. I love the Gypsy Rose Lee thing with Natalie Wood was my girl for a very long time. I loved her. Love her film, Splendor in the Grass. We do a Natalie Wood thing. She was a Cancerian person like me. I was just like, love that woman. Love her.
Nice. All right. That is the last question, folks.
Yeah,
that is it. We are done. But again, want to thank everyone who caught this live. And again, if you catch on the replay, that's appreciated too. Jen goes, that was me too.
Yes, you're right, Jen. She was fabulous. Love her.
Yeah. So I want to thank Jen, DJ White, Cinnamon, Ryan Knight, who co-hosts a show with me every Monday and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time, who's one of the head of the African Canadian Business Network. So good to have him on.
I gotta have to check that out. I thought I saw you guys.
But it's 6 a.m. your time, so I don't expect you to be up awake that time. Wig Maniac, Blue Rains, who else? Others. If I didn't catch your name, it's because of my head, not my heart. And yeah, another great conversation, folks. And as always, before we let our stars, because they are stars, as Princess say, baby, they're a star. Jill, how can people get in touch with you?
There it is. Jill
There it
D.
is.
Jones, Twitter.
All right.
I'm back on it. I'm behaving.
For now.
No more. Yeah. But
no,
I
don't say no more.
Yeah.
For now.
For now, right.
Okay. Thank you. Just leave it at that for now. Okay. All right. And then there is Aisha K. Staggers.
At Aisha Staggers on Twitter. I will be there cursing people out.
At least you're honest. And then if
know.
anyone wants to catch me, there's all the deets there: website, email, Facebook, the gram, or they call it Instagram. Right?
Yes.
So as always, we want to thank everyone for taking their time. As always, we end off with this: live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, respect. Remember to give yourselves grace. And remember also, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. We will be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, to see what's been going on in the world. We gave the world a break. We weren't commenting on the world, but next week we're going to get back on the world. So world, behave yourself, at least till next Saturday. Good night, everybody. Be well and keep the faith.